Shockwaves tore through the fandom almost instantly when whispers began circulating about Taehyung's sudden, unexplained departure. The news broke without even the faintest warning, sending fans into a whirlwind of confusion, disbelief, and fear. It was not just loyal supporters who were unsettled, even those who worked closely with him seemed blindsided by the abruptness of the situation. The first question sprang up with urgency: why did Taehyung leave so suddenly? What could be so urgent that he stepped away without explanation? And why, in the middle of this chaos, does Jungkook appear visibly shaken, so clearly distressed that his emotions can no longer be contained? From the outset, the mystery seemed almost scripted, the kind of drama that usually belongs in fiction rather than real life. Yet here it was unfolding before millions of eyes. Speculation mounted rapidly, with some asking whether this was simply an unusual personal matter or the prelude to a scandal that might burst open at any moment. Reliable sources confirmed that Taehyung's exit was not random or impulsive but carried out with startling precision. His departure was swift, deliberate, and carefully arranged to minimize disclosure. In its wake, he left only fragments, tiny clues that barely fit together, forcing observers to piece together what little they could. And while fans scrambled to interpret the gaps, Jungkook's demeanor added an entirely new layer of complexity. Typically the steady force who manages to remain composed even when storms surround the group, he was now described by those close to him as deeply unsettled, even overwhelmed. This silence surrounding the situation did not soothe fans, rather, it fueled the growing suspicion that something larger and far more serious was at play. The timeline of events did not match any official schedules, promotions, or even known personal commitments. Instead, the sudden absence was cloaked in secrecy, lending the whole affair an air of drama and unease. Jungkook's visible distress only magnified the theories. To see him, the member often portrayed as strong and resilient, shaken to this degree hinted at an issue that could not easily be brushed aside. Some observers suggested that his behavior revealed knowledge he was unwilling or unable to share. Could his emotions be evidence that Taehyung's actions were not as simple as they appeared? Was this a confidential matter so sensitive it forced silence upon them both? Speculation grew louder when fans examined the timing of the departure. The group had just begun regaining stability after a series of hectic schedules and shifting narratives. For Taehyung to vanish then, without context, sent shockwaves not only through the fandom but also through the image of unity the group had cultivated over the years. Was this truly just an internal matter? Or could it be the shadow of something much larger, something that might have consequences beyond music, beyond image, beyond even the group itself? What disturbed many most was the manner in which Taehyung left. Witnesses described him departing quietly, without the usual protective team or entourage that almost always surrounds such high-profile figures. This uncharacteristic discretion raised red flags. Why would someone so used to constant management and security suddenly choose a path so quiet, so hidden? Was he trying to avoid attention altogether? Or did the circumstances force him into an escape rather than a departure? Meanwhile, Jungkook's behavior refused to offer comfort. His silence, his body language, and his inability to mask unease suggested knowledge of deeper matters. If Taehyung's actions had been straightforward, why was Jungkook the one left visibly destabilized? Observers began to argue that the explanation might lie not in ordinary group tensions but in something far more profound. No group, however united they appear, is free from strain. Yet the intensity of the secrecy here hints at issues beyond the typical disagreements. For Jungkook to be affected so strongly suggests a personal connection at the heart of the matter. Was there a confrontation between the two? Or is his reaction evidence that he knows exactly where Taehyung has gone, why he left, and what it means for the future, but feels powerless to change it? As theories spread, another angle emerged. Perhaps Taehyung was not acting of his own free will. Could external forces, pressure from hidden circumstances, conflicts unspoken, have compelled him to act? Was this departure less a choice and more a necessity? The silence of those surrounding them only added weight to this idea. Management offered no reassurance, no clarification. And in the absence of explanation, suspicion flourished. At the center of it all remained Jungkook. His shaken demeanor was impossible to ignore. Known for his professionalism and ability to stay composed even in high-pressure settings, his sudden visible unease was striking. Observers noted he seemed more distant, more burdened, almost as though he carried a secret he could not share. Was he trying to protect the group's privacy while grappling with a situation spiraling beyond even management's control? If Taehyung left with a mission, then Jungkook appeared to be left with the aftermath. These unanswered questions struck at the very core of what fans thought they understood. Was the polished harmony of the group concealing deeper fractures? Was Jungkook's emotional state not just an isolated reaction but a warning sign that something darker lay beneath the surface? The uncertainty created an information vacuum. In that vacuum, rumors multiplied. Could this be the unveiling of hidden tensions? A scandal waiting to erupt? Or was the secrecy itself the most dangerous part, suggesting a truth too volatile to be revealed outright? Every sign pointed to something significant brewing. The timing, the secrecy, the emotional fallout, and the total lack of clarity painted a picture that was both dramatic and alarming. Was this only a temporary disruption, or the threshold of an event that could redefine public perception of the members involved? Despite the storm of speculation, however, one fact remained: concrete evidence was missing. What began as a fragment of information, Taehyung leaving suddenly, was amplified into a story of betrayal, secrecy, and scandal. Much of this rested not on verified facts but on conjecture and the amplifying effect of social media. The portrayal of Jungkook as devastated, too, may have been exaggerated. While fans analyzed his every gesture and expression, such interpretations are inherently subjective. He, like anyone, experiences natural fluctuations in mood, exhaustion, or introspection. To tie all of this directly to Taehyung's absence ignored the complexity of human behavior and the demanding workload the group faces daily. Silence, often mistaken for guilt, is in reality a protective shield. Choosing not to disclose details may not indicate scandal but a need for privacy. For figures as famous as these, privacy is often denied, and silence becomes the only boundary left. Yet in the world of fandom culture, silence feeds speculation. Social media thrives on immediacy, on filling gaps with assumptions. Those assumptions, repeated often enough, transform uncertainty into narrative and narrative into perceived truth. Thus, the case of Taehyung and Jungkook became less about what truly happened and more about what people feared, imagined, or projected. The emotional weight of fans cannot be ignored either. The deep connection ARMY feels toward each member fuels both love